Nigerians, those of una wey support Senator Natasha, don't in support of suspension, don't in support of Senate President Akpabio. Make una come, I have little information for you. You know one of the reasons why this country, Nigeria, no fit move forward? It is because we as Nigerians, there is no limit to what we fit tolerate as bad leadership. There is no nonsense we cannot take from our leaders. Nigerians will be like understanding girlfriend. No matter what thing they do to us, we go understand and we go dey patient. And you know one thing about Nigerian leaders? They go continue to dey test your ability to take bad leadership and nonsense. And the more you show them say you are ready to understand without pushing back, the more the situation go get worse. So if you've been thinking 9 minutes dey bad, the 10th one go show you say there's something called worse. If you've been thinking Buhari bad, the person will go come after Buhari, go tell you say no worry, now maybe the top fura for Buhari, I go show you, I go deal with you now. If this video too long, I go cut and post part 2 and 3 because I've already posted part 1. You can go and listen to it. And pardon me if I speak too fast. You say this issue in the National Assembly between Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio. I don't tell una say you must look at the bigger picture. That problem is a symptom of a bigger problem. Nigeria, we are in serious trouble. So for those of now when they talk say Senator Natasha was with Senator or where Senator Natasha will be okay. She's an elite. She even fought to win her election to come to that Senate. The problem when Natasha they talk to, it concerns me and you, average Nigerian, pass Senator Natasha, but you do not know. A situation where National Assembly was supposed to be carry out oversight, checks and balance over other arms of government have been completely hijacked when there is no meaningful opposition. The senator from Abuja, Senator Ereki, she said that the Senate is not opposition friendly. You know the meaning of that? That is why Nigeria can never move forward. Normally, we dey hear now say Nigeria, see the people they post picture, we stand with Senator Natasha. No, Nigeria, we must leave social media talk about problem and put up a physical presence to exercise our fundamental democratic rights to peaceful assembly in that National Assembly, to demand for better governance and for the right thing to be done. Senate said they don't go on break, say they go resume on Monday or Tuesday. On a normal day, to say Nigerians, we love ourselves. As they resume for that place, Akpabio and other senators supposed to meet all of us at the gate of the National Assembly. Yes, because that National Assembly is not Akpabio's house. It's not any senator's house. It is the people's parliament where we send leaders for our own good. And we must be able to hold them accountable without fear. Akpabio is not God now. No, he's not. Senator Akpabio is like other senators that were voted in. They only choose him to be their Senate president. So for those of you when they talk, say Senator Natasha is rude, there is procedure, there is standing order, listen to me very attentively. On that particular day when Senator Natasha, they shout order 10, order 10, order 11, which is her own order as her privilege as a senator. The Senate President Akpabio, in the talk, his mic was on. Go and watch the video. If they tell them already, say prepare her for suspension, let the sergeant at arms take her out. So even before they send her to go committee on ethics, the Senate President don't already put her for suspension. So less than 24 hours later, the committee only came back to talk what the Senate President has already said. So the Senate President is the constituted authority, and that is the kind of injustice where you dey support. Because you are from a party or you are from a state, you should be ashamed of yourself for your ignorance. According to other options where they list, where they bring out from the committee, her security should be taken from her, the allowances to her aid should be stopped. Former Senate President Ahmed Lawan, he get up, he talk say her security should not be withdrawn from her. The Senate President Akpabio say if somebody stopped to be a senator, the security should also be taken. So a suspended senator is no longer a senator for this Nigeria, and that is the injustice you are supporting. That injustice is big enough to go around though. It go touch you. Now say you know. And then, if you want to talk about you, the those of the way they talk, they are pretending they are taking in the National Assembly. She was rude. She has 6 children. No worry. Now ourselves we dey set up. Let me remind you of when Senate been don't get orders for themselves. 2020, when the court they sentenced one senator with the former governor to prison for 12 years for stealing money from his own state. According to them, the 6 months where he say he do for prison before he goes to Supreme Court, where overturn the ruling. Did they withdraw the allowances of the senator? Was his seat declared vacant? What was the standing order to take care of that one? Oh, so Senate standing order don't know how to take care of the criminals amongst them. It only knows how to victimize opposition and women who they think that are defenseless. You should be ashamed of yourself and disappointed in yourself for your ignorance and supporting injustice. 2018, a senator from Delta Central, he made comment for National Assembly, they suspend him, he goes to Supreme Court overturn and they suspend him for 90 days. Supreme Court said the suspension is illegal. When he go back, according to the senators and police will later carry him, elite thugs enter National Assembly, go hijack maize, the symbol of authority. Now the next day they go pick him for Abuja City Gate. What was the punishment? Well, if you don't know the punishment, by 2019, they vote him in as deputy Senate president. That is standing order. People will get standing at the sleeping order. Every year for 2 years now, when President Tinubu go National Assembly to submit budget, Senate chairman, who is Akpabio, they go lead other lawmakers so they sing on their mandate, they stand. If the Senate, if the National Assembly, the APC secretariat, are all Nigerians in the same party, so which the Akpabio will suspend himself? My dear Nigerians, if you do not get up and vote for us to come together and fight, my own concern is, as we talk about Natasha, we must be talking about electoral reform to overhaul and sanitize the criminal INEC, because if not for the criminal INEC and corrupt judiciary, most of the lawmakers and the senators who in Abuja, they will not be there in the first place. So now this Lagos idea, the day when we're ready to mobilize, say we want to go and demand electoral reform and for the right thing to be done, the transport people carry me, we're ready to borrow them, because we must overhaul that entire system. So my dear people, as we talk so, me, as I tell so, not be the one where they go come, they tell say, hey, be careful, Peter. My name is Peter. Peter for Nigeria. Peter the Rock. Nobody fit kill me. The almighty hand of God is upon me. To ask for good governance is not a crime. This Nigeria, I live here, I know die here. I'm not better than people where they prison, people where don't die. I'm not better than anybody. I have a God-given mandate to stand up for the truth and what I believe is right. And we must do that. That mandate, God willing, it must be established. The protest will be led by known faces, not the unknown faces where police carry them, nothing go do. Until we get that courage to come out in our number and go and demand for what is right. Let me tell you, the pain is only getting started. The problem just the begin. The situation will get worse and worse, and there is no end in sight. So we are our only help, no rescue. They come from anywhere. Let us rescue.
Akpabio, you better watch it. This fight is far from being over. To understand better, watch this video to the end and help me share it.
So much videos has been leaked, guys, so you see most of the evidences. Akpabio, is it not almost over for you? Is it not almost over for you?
The news of Senator Natasha's suspension by the Nigerian Senate is everywhere. But many Nigerians are now looking at the Senate as a conglomerate of a cult sect than a legislative arm.
There is no due process. In fact, due process has been murdered by a cult of misogynist senators, and it's sad. It's a sad day for our democracy. So nobody should talk about due process. Let me tell you, because we are dealing with issues of fair hearing here. You cannot, again, it's illegal by our laws, and I'm talking about Article 13 of the African Charter of Human and People's Rights Ratification and Enforcement Act. Is a Nigerian law, which says that you cannot actually, every Nigerian has a right to participate either directly or indirectly in the government or governance of his country. So you cannot even suspend, you cannot contemplate suspending a senator or a House of Assembly member. We talk about the idea that Senate is bound by its rules and that whatever happens in the Senate cannot be inquired into by the courts. That's a joke. Doesn't mean that if someone picks a gun and shoots another senator right there in the Senate, and then the courts or the police will keep quiet about it, they will arrest that person and they'll prosecute the person. It doesn't matter what the Senate president thinks. I think we just witnessed a situation where we have seen a deliberate attempt to repress, suppress, and oppress a Nigerian woman. And it is not really Natasha Akpoti that is the victim here. It is the Nigerian, because if a Nigerian senator can be dealt with so harshly, so mercilessly, because she attempted to express herself, just imagine what will happen to the ordinary Nigerian. And what did the woman do? If the woman resisted, the change of her seat, if it matters so much, you could have also said, if it didn't matter that she dared to just change her seat, you could have also considered that it didn't matter if she remained in her seat. But you see, there's a mixture of murdering the principles of fair hearing here whether it is the principle of nemo judesin causa sua, or the principle of fair hearing, in the sense that you must fully hear the other side. I think we're just seeing a Nigerian woman, a Nigerian senator, being totally stripped of her Section 36 rights, her rights to fair hearing. And it's a very dark day, because I watched the international media before coming here, and they are making a real, music out of this, whether it's the ABC network or the BBC.
Now, they handed down this suspension on Senator Natasha in a hurry, in a style many considered a desperate effort to shut.
The court order was served on the Senate of Nigeria, the committee in charge of ethics and so on and so forth, and that there was proof of service. I mean, this was flying on the social media, and everyone saw it. They got a substituted order to serve on the Senate through the office of the clerk. This was done. And then, in spite of this, you didn't sit down, you didn't rush a committee report, and then the person who is accused and who was likely to suffer from a suspension order was not even present. And so, in one breath, there was no fair hearing. You never heard the other side, in line with the provisions of the Constitution, Section 36. In the other breath, you disobeyed flagrantly a court order. And then you turn around to say, oh, the judiciary is not strong enough, the judiciary should improve, when we are the very ones, by this behavior, undermining judicial institutions in this country. Now, the Senate President allocates the seat. The dispute arose from the allocation of seat. Now, once it is the Senate President that allocates a seat and the senator complains about a right to a seat, it's a privilege, because the right to be in the Senate is by election and a certificate of return. Do not forget, you and I cannot go there. So once he raises that point, it is a duty under Order 10, the famous Order 10 she was shouting about, of the presiding officer, to have suspended all other matters. I consider that a very serious issue, and taking her complaint and make a formal ruling. But if you watch the proceedings on that day, as the distinguished senator was shouting Order 10, Order 10, I already heard the presiding officer talking about prepare for suspension. Review the tape. We've seen it. You were already preparing her for suspension, even before you.
So was it fait accompli?
Oh yeah, it was completely.
They decided our fate even long before the ethics.